Hello. Huh? This is my friend's store. He went out, so I'm helping him look after the shop for a bit. Did you need something from him? The manager forgot to tell me. Maybe you can pay for it the next time you visit? Aren't we neighbors?
Hey, how much does this book cost?
How to Ignite Your Confidence and Win Over Beautiful Girls, 13th edition. Oh, this book. It's part of a series. I'll find the other ones for you. Here, 101 Dating Tips. And this one, Winning Her Heart, Overcoming Rejection and Creating Lasting Love. Secrets of Seduction. Proven strategies for winning the heart of any woman you desire. That's the whole collection. I'll give you a 5% discount since you're getting the entire series. I hope these books will be of use to you.
Oh, yes. Of course they will. Thank you for your help, really. I'm here. Huh. You said you were just looking around. How come you bought so many books? Oh, I mean, it never hurts to read more books.
That was good for the opening sale. Really now, it's already time to close. Yeah, it's rare to make a sale. It's been a fruitful day. Well, it's a secondhand bookstore after all. Also, this place can often be closed for weeks at a time. I'm actually surprised we're still getting any customers at all. Oh, I almost forgot. Are you going to take that book home with you? Fine. Come with me. Have a seat. He should be back soon. Did I disturb your reading? I'm a bit tired and want to rest for a while. What about you? What are you reading? If you remember the plot from your high school days to now, it must be a good story. It perches atop the glacier and gazes up at the sky. There is nothing, only darkness, day after day. The world is veiled in perpetual darkness, without any sign of life. Its nest has crushed under the weight of yesterday's snow, and it must now find a new place to live as soon as possible. The blizzard won't let up once it hits. It must move faster. It sounds interesting. I wonder what the bird looks like. Perhaps the longer the night, the more visible the stars. And before then, there will also be a beautiful sunset. No? Is that what the plot was about? Now that you've said that, I'm curious how the story ends. But I'm sure the bird will live to see the sunrise. Why would anyone write an entire book on how a poor bird miserably fails anyway? Well, it's not entirely impossible. I read several books where the author makes you think the protagonist will have a happy ending. Then the plot changes, and the protagonist fails at the last moment. Books like that put me in a bad mood. Since you've been looking for this book, you must really like the bird story. Like what? It doesn't take that much determination to keep going. Sometimes it's actually harder to let go. Like the owner of this bookstore. He spent a decade collecting these old books, sorting them, and cleaning them. But for him, running this bookstore isn't something that would require determination. He's just doing it because he wants to. You said you aspire to have that kind of determination. Then maybe you should first look for the goal that you're willing to weather the storm for.
Xavier.
I'm inside.
You're awake? That's rare. Is she your guest?
She's your customer. She wants to buy a book.
After Sunset. It's a very old novel, even older than you. This version is the best translation. You have good taste in books. I'll give you a discount. Is she a friend of yours? Why don't you see her out?
Are you waiting for me? Just kidding. I want to borrow that book from you. Of course. I'm sure it's going to be a good read, no matter how the story ends. You can just walk upstairs and knock on my door. I'll be looking forward to the story you'll bring me.